I strongly suggest you write down some of the extra ones that I give if they're not ones that match yours. You're going to have to use your judgment. The first thing I did was I noticed 3 words that were not on my list. So you might want to add, to your list denitrification, nitrogen fixation, and organic and inorganic carbon. Oops. So I would add those 4 words if I were you.
Feeling well.
Okay.
Okay.
Have a lie down, I think.
Sure. Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, we do. It's not open every day though.
We don't have a sick one.
No.
So I think there's supposed to be 2 emails.
They're coming up soon, Briar, yes?
Okay, what are those?
You know what? When we're done all this, I'll show you. But I'd like to get through this before 2:15. Okay, so Silence of the Frogs. I've got this one here. Why are frogs considered good bioindicators of an ecosystem? Let's just make that a little bit bigger.
You said it's wrong.
What did you put?
Why are frogs important to the ecosystem?
Well, that's pretty close, I guess.
You told me it's wrong, and you're like, no, I won't ask that.
Let me see. What did you write? You actually wrote.
Why are frogs
No,
important
ended up on the
to the
floor.
ecosystem?
Okay, well maybe I misunderstood. How about you add in the word bioindicator there? Why are frogs considered good bioindicators of an ecosystem? Does anyone know the answer?
Yes.
Why are frogs, Briar, why are frogs important to the ecosystem then? You're the one that asked the question. It's recording.
The orange.
Are you sure?
Mark? Because I'm posting them to YouTube, so if you miss a day, you can listen in.
Yes, you can listen to YouTube.
Mark, I'm asking you the question. Why did you say frogs are important? Oh, you just asked it, you didn't know the answer.
No.
Okay, so can anyone help me then? Taylor's got her hand up here. Part of 2 food webs, and so they can indicate the health of food web A,
I'm going to YouTube now.
and they can indicate the health of food web B, right? So they're kind of they're in both, so they're a good indicator of how the ecosystem is, how both of those ecosystems are. What are some reasons for the population of frogs to decrease? I think there was 4 of them, right?
Yes.
They were like loss of habitat, is that what it is? Loss of habitat, anybody else know? What are they? As I wag my thumb at you. Loss of habitat.
Climate change.
Climate change, thank you. I think there's something about UV radiation, isn't there?
Yes.
And what was the 4th one? Well, you better know them. I guess I don't know them.
Pollution.
Pollution? Thank you.
Air, water, quality.
Okay. Under 1.2, did anyone have anything else that's different that they think is a good question for 1.1? Briar, I need you to listen. I'm helping you get ready for the test. 1.2, Canada's endangered species. I would say something like, can you classify an animal on the endangered species list, given some information? That's not the question that I'm going to ask, but I might give you a little story about the whatever animal, I couldn't come up with an example, and say, do you think it's endangered, extinct, extirpated, threatened, or vulnerable? And explain why. You might need, on your cheat sheet, you might need that little list of things.
Study sheet. Resource sheet.
Resource sheet. Is that the
Yes.
cheat sheet? It's not a cheat sheet. Study guide. Study guide. So I would expect you to be able to do that. I'm going to give you a little list, a little story about a certain animal, and then say, is it extinct? Is it endangered? Is it threatened? And explain why. That's not going to be an easy question. Under 1.5, ecology. Why do ecotones have a greater biodiversity? That was the one question that I pulled out of that one.
Yeah.
What is the ecotone in the first place? Brody, do you know? What does ecotone mean? Don't remember? Tiana, do you remember? Josh? Ecotone. Yes. Is it the... No. Jalen? Ecotone? Don't know?
You're in the headlight?
Melissa? Ecotone? What she said. Transition area between ecosystems. It's that boundary between ecosystems. The border. Think about the Saskatchewan-Manitoba border. Okay? Why do ecotones have a greater biodiversity? Remember this diagram that I drew? That you guys told me was called, what kind of diagram is that? Venn diagram. This is the ecotone in here. It's that boundary area. Why does it have a greater biodiversity? Because you got animals from the red ecosystem, animals from the blue and red ecosystems in there. They become purple. Purple animals. And why are they more stable than surrounding ecosystems? They're more stable because they have a greater biodiversity. The food web is better interconnected. Lots of arrows all over the place. Removing one will not hurt it. What about, how does the albedo effect cause a loss of energy? What does albedo mean? Anybody remember? Someone back here. Haley apparently remembers what albedo is.
Albedo. What was it?
Jalen? How much light is reflected, right? Okay, so that's the albedo effect. Claire had his hand because he's got his little yellow sticky. The albedo effect is how much light is reflected. So how does the albedo effect cause a loss of energy? The sun shines down, the snow does what to the energy? Reflects it back to the atmosphere, and we lose that solar energy. We lose it. What color are solar panels? Why are they black marked? They don't attract it. Another A, absorb. They absorb instead of reflect. That's kind of different. Kind of different.
0.5 anyway.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is a huge question. I can almost guarantee that question. No, I'm going to guarantee that question's on the test.
And the next one's the nutrition.
Yeah, basically those two together, right, Mr. Reed?
Yeah.
That is a giant question. Crucial idea. Key concept. Why is there energy loss as we rise up in the food chain to the higher trophic levels? Do you remember when we played
The bioaccumulation game.
and every time I took away a food and a water? Why did I take away food and water? Why, Josh?
Sounds being used up by
It's being used up. Exactly. Energy is being used up, Braden Patterson, as you go up the food chain. Okay? So as you go up it, there's an energy loss because animals need energy to live. Animals need energy to live. Why are there less organisms at the higher levels of a food chain? Because there's not as much energy for them. Braden, you're not listening to that. Give it to me. Now you can listen to me. You have no reason to be distracted. Two key questions. Why are there less organisms at the higher levels of food chain? Because there's less energy up there. They cannot live. We cannot have 200,000 wolves in Riding Mountain National Park. How come? There's not enough food for them. How come we can have 200,000 grass plants? They're small, they're tiny, they don't take up much energy. Wolves need a lot of energy. They're big. There's less of them. Okay. Pesticides. I pulled out a ton of questions on pesticides. What were some issues with the first generation pesticides? Harmful to humans, right? Good idea, Jalen.
Yeah.
Grab it. If you want to do what Jalen's doing, come on up, take a picture.
I'm so smart.
I got no problem with that. Go right ahead. Absolutely. No, please do. You had yours taken away for doing this? Oh, from your mom.
Something popped up.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, that was not the
What were some issues with first generation pesticides? Harmful to humans. Why do I have it twice? You know what?
It's that important.
I'll bet you it's that important. I'll bet you dollars to donuts that I was going to put second there and then someone distracted me.
Yeah.
I bet you this is supposed to say second. How come I can't get in there?
It's John Blair, huh?
I'm supposed to be in Word. This is supposed to say second right here. The second generation pesticide, the problem was that bioaccumulation thing. Explain what bioapplication, bioaccumulation refers to. Use a diagram. I guarantee that that question will be on the test. Braden Patterson, I guarantee it.
Oh, there's your
I will eat my hat if that question is not on the test.
water pesticides and
Okay. No, I think there's three, aren't there? There's the first generation, which are the arsenic and the sulfur ones. The second generation was the DEET ones, DDT ones. And the modern ones are the ones that are soluble in water and not as effective.
Right.
I get confused by that too, but I double-checked that the other day. So why is the ban on DDT not as effective as it could be? Because still used in Central America. We still get birds migrating north. Issues with modern pesticides, not as effective, have to use them more, they cost more money. Explain with the diagram how pests can become resistant. Do you remember the red and green balls? I'll use blue. Remember the diagrams with the red balls, and as you go across, you get more and more red ones? That's what I'm talking about there. Okay? Why are some people not in favor of pesticide ban in Manitoba? Okay, from that newspaper article that we watched.
In favor of protect care.
News story. Well, fair enough. Yeah. Here's the last one. Carbon cycle. I'm imagining I had some difficulty coming up with these. What are some processes that move carbon from one location to another? I'm looking for answers like cellular respiration, evaporation, pooping. What are the reservoirs for inorganic and organic carbon? What kind of impact have carbons had on the carbon cycle? We release a lot of CO2 to the atmosphere. For sure, you need to know why nitrogen needs to be fixed before it can be used. And for sure, you need to know what are some ways that nitrogen can be fixed. Lightning is one, bacteria is another. Is this going to be a hard test? Yeah, I think so. That pretty much sums it up right there. Here's what I'm going to do for you guys. I'm going to post this on Schoology. You can look at this later tonight. All those pictures that you just took are redundant if you go to Schoology. There's no excuse other than I'm too lazy.